morning. I'm Amanda Cottingham, and I'm the president of the Greenville Cypress Preserve Trust. These are my friends, Becky Weinman and Kathy Jean Bowman, both members of the Cypress Preserve Trust Board and members also of the Greenville Garden Club. In the 1930s, the Greenville Garden Club, the oldest garden club in the state of Mississippi, began efforts to save this wonderful natural treasure in our town from urban development. Our club has maintained projects throughout the years, purchased the site in the 1940s in order to save the preserve. It was maintained by the Garden Club from 1940 until 2002, when the club gave a conservation easement to the Cypress Preserve Trust for its maintenance and to be taken over by the Cypress Preserve Trust. It is a 501c3 organization, and it is totally maintained by the Greenville Garden Club. In 2002, the Greenville Garden Club conducted a gala for the benefit of preserving the trust. $45,000 was raised to help develop and maintain the preserve. Many donations are made annually, and numerous grants have been created to also maintain the preserve. It has magnificent walking trails, a beautiful meadow, bird boxes, and is home to many natural inhabitants, gorgeous birds that are on the Mississippi Flyway, and is a perfect place to entertain family and guests when they come to our town. We hope that you'll enjoy our tour and learning a little bit more about what the Garden Club does for the preserve and what you can enjoy there. Kathy Jean, will you tell us a little bit more about what the Garden Club does at the preserve?
The Greenville Garden Club Cypress Preserve Committee monthly performs maintenance duties for the upkeep and beautification of the site. 2 members are assigned monthly duties, which include trash pickup, flower planting, weeding of gardens and beds, cleaning, signs, providing brochures, and general maintenance and upkeep of the grounds. 2 work days are held annually by the Cypress Preserve Trust and Garden Club members, as well as community volunteers, organizations, and groups. We meet to clean the preserve, perform various duties such as invasives removal, planting of trees, and maintenance of the waterways within the area. We clean the walk paths. We make sure the bird boxes are placed appropriately. We blow the boardwalk and the parking lot. We maintain and keep up the signage and provide information to guests who come to the preserve while we are on duty.
The mission of the Cypress Preserve is to preserve, protect, and maintain the 16-acre land in this delta wetland, and also to use it for educational purposes. So preserving our preserve as a natural habitat is for Delta native wildlife, plants, and trees is our motive. One of our methods that we have in the last few years really pursued is removing invasives from the preserve, and these are plants that have taken over the native plants. You know, they've just overproduced and they will smother and kill trees and plants. So we take them out by digging or by pulling. In fact, 3-4 years ago, we had a weed wrangle, which was a really fun time. We had 60 volunteers from the community, which included our big tough firemen and the master gardeners and other garden club members, Cypress Preserve Trust members, that pulled out invasives, especially in the woodlands area, because we pulled out things like privet, Chinese privet, Japanese honeysuckle, mimosa trees, euonymus, all these things that had kind of taken over the native plants. So another part of that method is to plant native delta plants once these invasives have been removed. And on along that line, the last few years have planted at least 70 trees in the woodlands to replace these natives, to replace these invasives. And, hopefully they will bloom and grow, and they'll provide food and shelter for the birds and the wildlife and the insects that are native to our area. We planted the 70 trees in the woodlands, and we've also planted up to 30 on the north end of the meadow where the old cane, the bamboo, golden bamboo it died one summer, and so we've replaced it with about 30 ball cypress trees. So these trees will not only help the soil, enrich the soil, but also help the flooding. We do have a problem with flooding at times, and the trees will help that. And they'll also provide corridors for the migrating birds. So this is all, within the last few years, and this is a continuous project that we use. We provide and maintain a wildflower plot on either side of the pavilion. And now we have bloom through the spring, summer, and fall. So it's kind of an educational thing. We only use the native Delta plants, wildflowers, annual wildflowers, and perennials. Like we've introduced some new ones that are native to the Delta, like ironweed and black-eyed Susans and coreopsis, clasping coneflower, Amsonia. A lot of plants that attract native butterflies and insects and even little salamanders. So that's something, if you come out there, please view the garden in different seasons. It's beautiful, but it's natural because we are a preserve, not a park, not a landscape park. So that's our, that is our mission. As we reseed these plots, you might notice if you look in the fall, there's some really tall plants out there. It looks like we don't maintain it, but we do. And it's just nature's growth. It's goldenrod, which grows tall, the ironweed grows tall, and the boneset. So you might think nobody's maintaining it, but we are. We're constantly weeding and, taking care, reseeding these wildflowers. In the meadow, we have a large meadow, which is surrounded by a trail. You can walk around the meadow and view the beautiful cypress sloughs, the old trees. We have wildflowers in the meadow also. A grove of persimmon trees that just grew, and we let it grow. The ball cypress trees are coming up, and we planted some red buds in there too. And you can also see the wood duck boxes and the bluebird boxes, and there's an outdoor classroom if teachers would like to bring students out there and study the nature and the native plants in the Delta, the native wildlife, birds or whatever you want to pursue in your classroom. You can bring a classroom out there. As you walk around the trail, we probably have about almost a mile of trails at the preserve. So it's bigger than it looks. Go around the meadow, and then you can go through the woods over 2 lovely boardwalks that we just redid and put rails on them. They're wood boardwalks that go over the sloughs. And you come eventually to wonderful, my favorite spot is the observation deck, which actually goes over the slough. You're viewing over the slough, so you're in the water with the trees. It's really neat. So there's a lot of trails and walking, and don't forget the educational signs that we have. We have over 20 educational signs along the trail. So you can learn about the flora and fauna of the Greenville Cypress Preserve and of the native Delta area. Also, we have a website, www.greenvillecypresspreserve.org. And on this website is our trail guide, which if you're taking the trail and reading the signs, this will complement its other material and other information about the woods and the meadow and the trees and the wildlife and everything. So you take your phone along and you can follow the trail on your phone and read the signs and look at the trail guide. So also on our website is a place to donate. You can pay through PayPal if you'd like to donate to the preserve. Just remember, we're open from dawn to dusk. We want you to come and look at the preserve and the beautiful natural Delta land and see our Delta ecosystem at work.
We're so glad that you joined us in our virtual tour of the preserve. It's one of Greenville's most exquisite places. And if you're not interested in just learning more about nature or whatever, come as just a place to be serene and quiet and placid. Just take a stroll. And we urge you not to destroy the preserve. It is indeed a place to be preserved. We ask that you not pick the flowers, kill the flora or fauna, and that we encourage you not to have picnics here, parties, or gatherings. It cannot be rented for parties, weddings, any type of events. It is merely to be enjoyed. It is enjoyed for free, and we hope that you will continue to do so and to be loved as we love it. Thank you.